Welcome back to Ill Eagle Culture Brands Red Tape Talk. I'm your host, John Ostos, a.k.a. Ill Eagle CEO, and I'm here with my two counterparts as usual, Dion, Two Cup Larry, and Cody, Big Meat Mauk.
Yep.
And today we have, I would say, probably one of our most important guests on since we've started this podcast. But we have what we like to call here in Fargo, North Dakota, the hero cop, Zach Robinson. Zach, welcome to the show, brother. It's a pleasure to have you, and we appreciate you coming on and doing this with us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So I texted you and you obviously got hit from all sides. I tried to get a hold of you. So I reached out to Sheriff Johnner. So shout out to Sheriff Johnner. And also I reached out to what I call Sexy Mike. I call him Sexy Mike because was it the Inform that made that post? I don't remember what.
Valley News, I think.
Valley News.
I don't even remember.
Somebody made a post about him in the parade and the females were going crazy. So now I just deem him Sexy Mike.
It was just a casual picture of the parade, and he happened to be in the shot, is what it was. And
just a random shot of him tossing candy, and these women went crazy. Went absolutely crazy. So, yeah, but you got hit from all sides trying to get you on here, but I really do appreciate you.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
You coming on. Obviously, we have a lot to talk about, but I'm actually interested. Were you in the Guard at one point?
Yeah, so I'm still in the Guard. So
in Minnesota?
North Dakota, up here in Air National Guard in town.
Okay.
Fargo.
Okay, gotcha. What do you do for them?
So I'm in the maintenance squadron with weapons. So we basically deal with putting the bombs on the airplane, essentially, like the cliff notes for it.
Cool.
I've done that for 6 years now. Then I was security forces for 8 years before that. Just signed my last 6-year contract, and I'll get me to 20.
No shit.
Nice.
So you're already in for quite some time, huh?
Yep.
Wow. That's awesome. Where are you from?
Grew up in Roseau, Minnesota.
Okay.
So northern Minnesota. Mom and dad still live up there. 2 younger brothers, 1 older brother. Dad was a Border Patrol agent for 29 years. And that's how we got up there. He worked at Warroad. They have a Border Patrol station in Warroad, and they covered from, I don't even know how many miles, from all the way across northern Minnesota through like International Falls area.
Okay.
So he did that, and then I went to college down at NDSU. That's how I got down here.
Okay.
Nice.
So did you play hockey at all for?
I did, yeah. So I played all the way through. Looking back, I could have put more effort into it probably. Didn't play too much when I got to senior year of high school. But,
well, they take their hockey very seriously in that neck of the woods. I know
You played hockey? You didn't play football?
I played football too.
Okay, I was gonna say what the.
I was 70 pounds lighter in high school though.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, you can't tell from seeing him sitting down, and we didn't know this in all the pictures and stuff that we've ever seen, but this is a big dude right here. How tall are you, man?
Like 6'3", 260-ish.
Jesus.
You seem like I'm 6'3", or I used to be. Now I'm like, what am I? You're tall, man.
So what year did you come down here then?
Flashcards in my head. 2011.
Okay.
2011, and then I was deployed I had like a year off of school for that. Came back, finished college, and then graduated college in 2016. Then started at Fargo PD like a week later.
So you're studying criminal justice?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
So I graduated with that.
Where'd you get deployed to?
I was in Oman for 6 months.
Okay.
It was Gulf State, super easy. It was like a staging base we had C-17s there. So they'd fly stuff out of wherever they were. It's when they were pulling out of Afghanistan and everything. So they were fly stuff in, drop it off, and on a ship. I just sat at a gate and roasted all day.
Oh, yeah.
That was good.
Nice. So I'm in the Guard too. I was in air defense artillery for a long time.
Oh, yep.
13 years. Now I'm a recruiter in the Fargo community, but yeah, I'm on year 18 myself. So
2 more to go.
Well, I'm full time now, so I actually have to do to get the full 20-year retirement.
Contract.
Yeah, AGR. So I got a little ways to go, but
How far do you have to go then?
11 more full time.
11 years full time.
If I could retire in less than 2 years. on the M day, but you can't draw your retirement until a certain
then.
age.
Yeah, but
which is
still,
like-
that's a lot earlier than most individuals. So that's pretty cool.
right.
Yeah.
So I can retire in 2036. So I think I'll be like 46 or something.
That's awesome.
That's when I can retire from the guard. So
Yeah, it's a lot earlier than a lot
but
of
it's,
people.
guys like him that they work, for a police officer and then they're in the guard. So they're going to eventually get double retirement.
Yeah.
Double
So
pension.
yeah, double
That's
pension.
awesome.
Yep. 59 and a half, I think, unless I get some AGR time in there, which I doubt it. Probably would never go full time out there. But
Yeah.
just, I like hopping in. I don't want to be stuck on a base all day. But.
So you went to NSU and you graduated from NSU?
Yep. Started at UND. Then I graduated high school in 09. Went to UND my first year. And then joined the guard. So I was gone for like a full year, basically. Full school year. And then went to NDSU after that. And then got deployed, came back. And then how old was I? I was 23. 2014. So I was 23 when I got deployed. And then I got back and I was like, all my friends are graduating college. I'm sick of being in school. And so I just grounded out, took summer classes, like 20 credits a semester.
Wow.
And got it done. 20 credits for a semester. And then like 18. And just got it done with.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was ready to be done.
And then where did you go to the academy at?
So I was one of the first classes from Fargo in quite a while to get paid to go to the academy.
Nice.
And we went to Bismarck at the Law Enforcement Training Academy.
Okay.
So it was me and 3 other people. Yeah. So it was 4 of us total went out there. And that was like agencies from all around the state. So you'd have we didn't have any troopers in my class, but it would be from Kenzie County Sheriff's Office, Grand Forks, Bismarck, kind of all over. And so I did that the summer of 2016, got done in August, and then started in our training program at the PD. And that's 17 weeks, probably 4 months long. Graduated that, and then sent straight to night shift.
How was the academy compared to Air Force Air Force basic training?
That's what I was wondering. Is
Air
it
Force
pretty
basic
intense?
training.
Is it what? Is it easier or harder?
No, with basic training, you get obviously the culture shock of getting, 19, getting thrown down there, you don't know anybody.
Yeah.
And then but with this, it was hard at points, just study stuff, but the physical stuff,
Not
no
that much.
That, no.
Okay.
You can only go as fast as your close person. So
you run in a group?
Person. Yeah.
Okay.
But
What was he do with?
You were the slowest person?
I was not the slowest person.
Oh, I was like, what?
It's not.
Well, a friggin' Gigantor over here
that's
was
what I was
running.
thinking. Maybe he's slow. I don't know.
We would do workouts.
He's trying to avoid villages he's stomping on. Gorlock the Destroyer.
Remember, one of our workouts was at the Capitol building, and it was ground floor to first flight down, second flight down, third flight down, fourth flight down. You had 45 minutes, and I think I got to forget how many flights there are, but I think I got to 13. It was not a wide stairway. They're just trying to wiggle by everybody. It was fun. It sucked, but it was fun.
Wow.
Looking back, no, it was. PT wasn't anything to sweat over. It was you got what you got. What you put into it, basically. If you wanted to go slack, you could slack. If you wanted to try hard, you could try hard. But I always lifted in the afternoon too. I went to the college there at what's college there, Bismarck.
Yeah, State.
Bismarck State, yeah.
Yeah.
So I got a membership there for the summer. I went there after we got done for the academy. So it was just 8 to 4.
Yeah.
Roughly. You're getting paid when you're there, so they're not
Sure.
going to work you like dogs either. Not like a GI getting you're doing this all day, not salaried. So it's good though. Liked it, made good friends. But I was definitely ready to be done at the end of it.
Yeah. And then you got hired down here at Fargo PD.
Yep.
Jumped right into night shift.
Yep.
What year did you say that was that you got hired?
2016.
2016.
Yep.
Okay.
And then straight to nights. I was working North Fargo, so I did a year up north, and then which basically ended up kind of going downtown the way our old districts. We had 4 districts. So District 1 was like North Fargo kind of.
Mhm.
And then was up there for a year, and then I kind of worked in the same general area. And then you kind of get thrown around everywhere. It's like you'd have beats where you're like assigned, but still says City of Fargo on your patch, so
Right.
still go everywhere.
Right. Did you spend a lot of time in the downtown area when you were working nights?
Yeah, on the weekends I would.
Yeah.
Especially that first year. And then you get like bar clothes. And you go down there, at least do like laps or be like presence patrol, or we get out and walk around and basically try to prevent stuff. Or if something did happen, you're standing right there. You're standing outside of bars and bar fights kick off and you just separate everybody and everybody scatters.
Yeah. I'm sure that was pretty frequent.
Yeah.
You know, every weekend you got some.
Yeah, there'd be
Something.
something going
It's
on.
always frequent. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
mean,
it
these
ever
days
stops.
it's so bad too.
Yeah, I never even go downtown.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't work night shift anymore, so I couldn't even tell you what happens down there.
Yeah.
I'm long asleep, and then
Yeah.
That's the way to go.
and
What was the craziest shit that you've seen up until this? Was there anything that stuck out to you that happened?
yeah, I mean, I'd been on like other shootings before, and
Let's see, 2016. That was right after Officer Mosier, right?
Yep. So I got hired 3 months after that incident occurred. But no, I'd been on like people with gunshot wounds before, and nothing that was currently active. Tased a couple dudes.
How'd that go?
They earned it, man.
Yeah, they earned it.
I seen some guys just do some crazy stuff when they're getting tased, like just walk through it, and like not the tasers you guys use though.
No, we got it, it's all depending on like contact, like where you hit them at.
Yeah.
They're definitely not effective 100% of the time.
Mhm.
So you can't rely. It's a tool that may or may not work.
Cool.
Technology obviously has gotten better as like the years have gone on, and we have Taser 7s now. Now they have Taser 10s are like the new thing where you get 10 probes and a cartridge,
Holy.
and then you can shoot out up to 10 times.
Damn.
But then you gotta obviously know that like you gotta hit like the big thing you want is it's called neuromuscular incapacitation. It's called NMI. So you want like a probe up in your upper chest and your opposite thigh. That'll get everything to lock
But
up.
You have a laser, right?
Yep.
And do you know? But so they shoot in separate, right? They separate.
So right now they do. Yep. So right now you get a
Well, how the hell are you supposed to hit? You know what I mean? Like that's such a small target.
You
Turn it
get 2
sideways.
lasers. So the probes and they shoot out. Like one's going straight, and then the one's going at a downward angle. So then you get that theoretical. You'd get that if you shoot from here to the wall, you'd have a spread of from like the say I don't know, like halfway up the wall to the ground. Not even halfway up, like say like 2 feet above that
Outlet?
Outlet. Yep.
Okay.
That's not too bad then.
No, and then you got a wider one, and then you got one that's closer. It shoots out at like a less of an angle. I don't know the angle specifics. But that would be for like your long range one. I think they're effective for up to 45 feet ish.
Damn.
If I remember right. Yeah. And they have a punch behind them too. Like they can go through quite a bit of stuff, but like the thing that sucks where we live is winter.
Oh,
Get jackets.
yeah. And
And
you're
then-
kind of fucked.
Yeah, then it sucks. But that's when you got to kind of use like take a deep breath and figure out what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Kind of work through the issue, and not always something you can use. I got lucky with both of mine. One of them was point blank. I went through a jacket. Other one, I had to use the second cartridge, and I caught the jacket, hit him in the thigh, and then the second one I caught him in the thigh, and then I think I got them both. But then if you have one connected, one disconnected, and say the second probe, you get one connected and one disconnected. Those two will talk back and forth.
Oh, whoa. Cool.
Yep. So then he fell and didn't really give up, but I got him.
I've been tased before. On our way to Kosovo, we had to get tased and maced.
I saw it being a different story. I don't know.
I wasn't running or anything, but I was linked up with my cousin, and we were sitting down, and they're taser. It sucks, dude.
You were sitting down?
Yeah, we were sitting down because I don't know.
You don't want to
they didn't
fall.
want
I
us to
guess.
fall, but
Yeah.
we were sitting down, linked up, and yep.
I feel like I'd want to be standing though, because then, like, I guess you're already crunched up. So maybe I don't know.
I mean, you'll fall over, but
fuck it.
I did mine when I got tased. I was laying down.
That would be the way to go.
So they just stood above me and went pop.
it sucks.
I feel if your abdomen's already like crunched and you get shot in like the chest, like or the stomach, I don't like that.
Would you rather be tased or maced?
Tased.
Just because it's over with? Fuck. I don't know. The anticipation of getting tased is like.
Remember when we did the one chip challenge, dude? I don't want to go through anything like that again. That was awful.
Getting maced does fucking suck.
I would not want to get maced. I wouldn't even want to spray the mace and then touch my face on accident, like anywhere. I'm good on that.
Yeah.
I've heard of stories about like when I was in college, they would have a college party and people would go to the party. And I heard a story one time, this girl, nothing happened, and she just sprayed a guy in the face with mace and then just left the party. And I was like, dang, dude, what an unfortunate night for you. But, and then you got to go walk home, fucking face is just destroyed.
No, it's the worst. I would never get that. I've never taken it out of my pouch before. In my duty gear. So I'm like, I don't want the residual effects.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That stuff gets everyone in the vicinity.
Yep.
Yeah. We, when we were in Kosovo, we had to do this training exercise we were doing riot control with the French. The French were on our team, and we were against I think it was Puerto Rico and Irish or something. So, of course, I'm the shield guy, and I'm friggin' front line, right, holding my shield. And one of the French dudes that was behind us, he was like way behind us. He shot a canister of gas. And we hear a ting, 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 ting. And I look down, it's right next to my feet. And I'm like, shit. So somebody had said, we gotta fall back because this shit is gonna spray us. And we didn't have masks on or anything. They're like, all right, fall back to the bus. So we all take off running. We're all like, start coughing. The wind is blowing in our direction. The wind is blowing in our. Didn't get those guys at all. Like the Irish didn't affect them at all. But this freaking French dude gassed his whole team.
When you like retreat in a practice like that, do you guys like run away or is
we were running?
It's like disorderly. Like
we were running.
You don't have to stay in like
because
formation.
like you're sitting there like you can't breathe.
Yeah.
You cannot breathe. You're like, start coughing.
That'd be so
and I'm just, par to the course with a friggin' French dude, of course, but that shit's crazy.
Yeah, I bet he'll have a good nickname for the rest of his life.
Yeah. Shit's crazy. So, yeah, that happens. And now we're getting up to 2023.
2023. Yep.
Was it June?
July?
July 14th. Yep.
Okay.
So nice sunny day, and then
walk us through kind of how you got there.
So I was gone the previous day. So I was gone on Thursday. I had bomb squad training all day. And then that morning we were finishing reports from the previous day. And then we had gone on like a car accident right away or early afternoon. Handled some random calls for service, nothing too crazy. And then we were at the station. I was in the evening shift briefing, just talking to some of the guys while Jake Wallin was finishing reports. And then we got asked by Dotis and Haas if we would, they just asked over the radio, hey, could we get like a second unit here to help out? And then we got sent to it. So we're like 10 forward now. And so we went there.
Was Jake riding with you?
Yep. So he was driving. I was in the passenger seat. So he was in training. He was in his midterm evaluation. So the way our training program works, you have like 3 weeks of phase A, 3 weeks phase B, 1 week midterm, and then 3 weeks C, D, and then like 2 week final. So he was in his 1 week midterm evaluation.
Okay.
And then I think Officer Hawes he had just started his last week of his first week of his last phase.
Sure.
And then so he just asked us to come down there. We got there, got like a little brief on what was happening, and they just asked us if we would help interview. There's like 6 witnesses there or something.
So it was a pretty decent accident that had happened prior. Like,
I mean, it was a fender bender. It wasn't
Yeah.
anything too crazy.
okay.
I think ambulance came and checked out one person, and they had left. Fire department was there. They for fluids. So anytime there's like fluids leaking, they'll come and put down like floor dry or whatever, and
Yeah.
get it cleaned up. And they'll clean up like debris in the road and whatnot. So they were still there. They were blocking a lane of traffic. So I think the car was in the southbound lane and the fast lane, so the left lane. And so they were parked right behind it. And so we got there. They came out, gave like a little. Dotus gave us like a debrief, like, "Hey, can you go talk to? We got like 6 witnesses here. Can you guys start talking to people?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure, no problem." It was 3:00, so by the time we would get that done, go home for the day, basically. And then, so I went. Then they were gonna walk over. I just wanted to look and see like where the damage is at on the car. So I walk up, look at the vehicle. I think I looked at like the front of it, saw like what it was. I was walking back to go over back behind the car because the fire department, they were going to take off, and then I was just going to move the squad car up so we didn't get like a second accident right there. And so then I went to go, took like a couple steps over, and then we started shooting basically. I was like no idea what's happening right away. And then I radioed it out right away, like we had like shots fired, and then the guy got out of his vehicle. And I shot, I think, 4 rounds at him, and then he takes off running behind his vehicle because I don't think he knew like where it was coming from or what was happening. And then I got on the radio again, like you hear like the audio. You can say like we're at night, and then he started shooting again. He's going to say our location where we were at, and then got a good sight picture on him. Started shooting again back at him, and then I remember when it was happening, like I was like, how am I not hitting this guy? He was like 25 yards away, so like fairly far for a pistol, but not like out of reach or anything. And then eventually he goes down. I think total at that point I'd shot 15 rounds roughly. We only have, we only have 51, 3 17-round mags plus 1. That comes out to 51.
Wow.
So then I knew like
You got a rifle in the car though, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's like you gotta locked up. And,
Yeah.
And I didn't have so normally like in our car I have like my duty bag on the front seat. In that I'd have my rifles and like a little pouch up front. We just reach and grab it, but there would have been we have vests in the back of our cars, and they have a couple 30-round mags in them, but not like readily accessible. Well, they are readily accessible, but I also didn't have a set of keys because they're in his pocket too. So,
Yeah, I was gonna say, since you were riding passenger, you don't really have.
and we have like a master key on our duty belt, but I didn't even think about that at the time to go grab it. We use rifles for say you have like a dynamic situation at like a building where you're responding to it, then you can, as you get there really quick, pop the button, pull it out, you're good to go.
But that's locked up. So
Yep.
would the driver have the key to that, or
It's like there's a way to unlock it.
okay?
You can't tell us, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but at the time,
Didn't even cross.
did
my
you
mind.
even think like
No. I just knew like after
you had to get
fall,
rounds
you
down?
got to get closer to him.
Yeah.
I recognized that I was a distance away, and I was like, dude, I just got to get like one round on this guy because he was actively shooting the whole time too.
He didn't want to go down either. Like he was,
No.
you're giving him commands and he's still moving, reaching for his gun. It was crazy.
So the guy, I got 21 out of 31 shots on him. I've never seen like the autopsies. I don't know where I hit him at.
Yeah.
You hit him 21 times, you're saying? Jesus.
What was he on? Was he on anything that they ended up finding out? No.
Never heard.
I mean, to survive that and just keep reaching for his weapon constantly until you finally finished it was like insane to see when they showed us the body cam footage.
Any of the
autopsy
reports of where he was hit?
That's like not like it's not available. I just never looked
So I know
for
you
it.
shot him in the ass a lot, right?
Probably.
It sure looked
He was
like.
bleeding a lot from his backside. But my question is, did he just not see you like during that whole thing?
Incident.
Like they were standing off to the side on the sidewalk, and then you were kind of by the car in the middle of the road.
Yeah, so I was like straight. The dude was straight to the south of them, and then I was straight to the east of the officer. So it was like a L basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he saw me the whole time. We've talked, like we've all looked at videos. I've talked to the other officers, and it's like I just don't think he saw me. So I just got lucky.
Wow.
But yeah, then like you guys see on the video too, like telling him to drop the gun. Like I don't know how many times, and he's just constantly reaching for it. I was trying to like use like the engine block, keep cover in between us. Had a reload in there too. After a while, I'm like, okay, like trying to think like how do you kind of like work through the problem, right? And when this is occurring, I know that like the 3 officers are shot, but I don't know anything else about them at the time. So I remember I rolled around or walked around to the other side, and I kind of shuffled over there. I remember like, don't trip as I'm doing that, and then walk around the back. He was still had a pistol in his hand at that point. Was still trying to manipulate it, and then shot him like 5 times.
So I was, and this might be a stupid question or a little bit too much, but when you're in front of the car and you see him and you're aiming at him, and I know you had to reload, what stopped you from just unloading on him? You know, your guys are hurt, and obviously that's not what you're not supposed to unload on him, but
they just recognizing like the use of force scale is like very up and down, right? To say, in my thought process too, is he takes the pistol and throws it off to the side, and then you dump 5 more rounds into him.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, he gave up at that point. And you can't just do that. So it's, and I obviously never thought I'd be in this situation either.
Yeah.
But then to be able to think like that at the time, like every time he dropped down, it's like, okay, give him more commands. He sits back up with rifle, pistol in his hand. You still have then that active threat at that point.
Yeah.
Take care of it, and then just continuing to kind of work through the issue. I mean, it's all happening super fast too. And it's, not knowing what's happening either.
Yeah. You don't know if there's somebody else or if this is
no clue.
planned and thought through and stuff like that. So,
just working through it. I mean, looking back too, I mean, I remembered everything, and just thinking about all those factors, and you got 1,000 things going on.
Yeah, and with that being said, all of us, we all want to say like, and this is your job, so I'm sure you don't think of it the same way as we do, but you acted in a way that every person, when they hear something bad happen, says they would act. Yeah. You know what I mean? You did exactly what Cody would have wanted to do, what John would have wanted to do, what I would have wanted to do. And the majority of people wouldn't have done it as well as you. And I don't know anybody really that would have done it as well as you did. So I just want to say I commend you for that, because it takes guts, it takes balls, and you handled it better than I could have ever seen something like that happen, you know?
So that was like one of the first things I noticed when we got to see that video. I was just like, this guy, his reaction time and just the professionalism. You can tell your training was there. You were really on point. The way you handled the entire situation, like it was dead on, man. It was fucking awesome to see. Really, yeah.
To be able to hit him 21 times when your adrenaline is through the roof.
Through the roof.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell like when that first shot starts, you can tell your adrenaline just like boom,
Right.
ready to go.
Yeah, you're in
But
the
it was-
zone.
It was almost like the movie Wanted, like the adrenaline just made you
Yeah.
focus and you put rounds down and boom, boom, boom. And that's crazy.
What's going through your mind at that moment when you first hear those shots, besides getting on the radio and firing back? I mean, like, what kind of thoughts are you having in that moment?
So it's like the first thing I honestly thought of was like, who's shooting off fireworks for like a split second? I'm like,
Yeah.
who's shooting off fireworks? Then you turn around and look, and then I see like the 3 guys like running, like ducking and running.
Wow.
So then it's kind of like, oh, I think I had my gun out within like a second or two. Roughly. It was pulled out before I even knew where the guy was even located.
Yeah.
People asked me to like, did you get scared right away? It's like I didn't have time.
Yeah.
For that.
I can imagine.
And then it was
that was that fight or flight response.
Yep.
So now you know in the future you're always gonna be a fighter.
Yeah.
yeah. So no, it happened so fast. I think from start to finish, it was 2 minutes, just a couple seconds under 2 minutes from everything occurring. Yeah, I wouldn't say I was scared, but I got like a huge adrenaline pump. Obviously, I've never had my voice shake like that before.
Yeah.
But I remember too, just at the end when everything got done with, I was like, when the video cuts out, obviously after like we go to handcuff him, and I obviously seen past that too. And I always had like this saying, like a Jocko saying in my head, like relax, look around, and then make a call. That's kind of something I read it, and I was like, kind of just something that stuck with me for like I don't know the last probably 3-4 years roughly. But I tell like when I've been training new recruits that hey, like if you get like flustered, just take a deep breath, relax, look around, like figure out what you're gonna do, and then move on with your task that you're trying to complete. And so I knew like I had like a huge adrenaline rush and was like super jittery, and audibly told myself like to calm down like probably 10 times. I was like, all right, we're thinking like, what do we have to do now? It's like, all right, handcuff him. Knew he was done. They just went over and somebody had called on the radio. I don't remember who. Got ambulances up there right away. The fire guys, they hadn't left yet, and so the one guy was an army guy too. I forget what he did, but he gave like a full 9-line report over the radio.
Was it Chris Lieb? Is that his name?
Eric was there.
Okay.
It was Everett Patterson, and he gave like a full like sit rep over the radio, what was happening and description of the guy, what was going on. Because then as soon as they saw from like the squad car footage, as soon as they see me, I wouldn't say relax, but like holster up, like they were out the truck and running up there with their med bags. Because their front tire got shot, and then they couldn't steer or do anything. So they just threw it reverse, and I don't know if it was Crystal B or what, but they were like trying not to hit the squad car behind them. I told them like, I think in that situation you could just floor it in reverse.
Just run that shit down.
The fire truck's gonna push that squad car out of the way.
Yeah.
But no, those guys ran up and they started applying medical treatment immediately.
That's awesome.
We had the full caravan of squad cars because the station's only 10 blocks to the north of there.
Yep.
So they all, it was like a mad dash because evening shift briefing was going on. And some guys set up their cars beforehand, some guys don't. I personally never did before shift. Some guys get there early just so they're ready to go a little sooner. So some guys hopped in their cars, took off. Some guys just grabbed keys off the little keychain rack thing we got, and they took off. We had all of day shift respond. Like West Fargo, Cass County, Clay County, Highway Patrol.
So they locked that
NDSU.
area down.
Yeah, it was like all hands on deck. Like mutual aid got called in right away for us. And we do the same too if somebody had a critical incident in their city. Like the big thing with those is you get the officers that were involved out of there. They're like our policy too. Like, you get paired up with somebody, you give a quick public safety brief as to what happened. So I found like the first supervisor that was there. I just gave a quick, like, hey, this is what happened. And they're like, okay, you're paired up with this guy, you go back to the station now.
When you say you're paired up, is that just somebody that as a witness?
No,
With
just
you?
somebody to
Look after you.
look after.
Okay.
you.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Take care. Yeah.
Yep. So we went back to the station and sat in one of the rooms there, and then it was phone calls, and then obviously like we had those 2 officers that were alive got sent to the hospital. So they got officers following them. Well, actually, all 3 of them went to the hospital. They loaded them up right away and took them there. Then obviously Jake Wallin was killed. So then we had they did the escort to like the coroner's office and everything. And then I wasn't there for any of that. I was not that I couldn't have done it, but just like, hey, like I know what just happened. Like it's probably not the best for me to be around everybody. So I was like mentally aware of that, and then I had every accommodation that I would have wanted. It was provided to me by the PD. Like like I had people checking on me every single day for the first couple of weeks, first month probably. Obviously, it's like the first month you had like the initial like shooting, and then you had the funeral, and then you had like the Attorney General Wrigley giving his like findings on it. U.S. Attorney Max Schneider. Then you had the Attorney General of the U.S. Merrick Garland flew in, and a lot of people I never thought I'd meet that I met, and so it was busy the first year.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Kind of nonstop this year. I've done a lot of traveling, which has been good. And then so then I got cleared like within 5 days of everything happening. So then I got
Oh wow, really? 5 days, huh?
So the Attorney General, Attorney General Wrigley, I just watched the body cam. I had to do a meeting with every time there's like a shooting involved. You meet with the Bureau of Criminal Investigation, BCI. They take the case for any. I don't know about any department, but how we do it is they would take the case if there's an officer involved shooting. So they took that, they investigated it. It's their case. Like we, as the investigating agent, as the agency involved, get out. So then there's no like conflicts of interest or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I was back to work. I was off for like a month probably for work before I went back. And that was my own choice because my wife was pregnant with our second baby, Riley. And he was born 2 months from the day, so he was born September 14th.
Wow.
So then my big thing is I was off work for 3 weeks total. And then after that, it was all like my own choice. Like everybody said, you can take the month off, 2 months off, like whatever you want to do, you can do it. So it was no
pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah.
None. It was you can be in the office for a month if you want, kind of take it easy. You can basically do whatever. And after like a week of being in the office, I was like, all right, I'm
Ready to go.
ready to go. And so then, but there's certain things we do too. Like I rode with an officer for a week, just to make sure that like, hey, I wasn't gonna have like a mental breakdown on a
Right.
traffic accident or something again. So I rode with an officer for a week, and then after the 1 week, another meeting. They're like, "Are you good?" Not this BS of like, hey, like saying you're good when you're actually not. But I was like,
Right.
legitimately like, cared about like how I was doing. I was like, yes, I'm fine. Like, I think I'm good to go. Then obviously like, getting checked in like over and over and over throughout the last year. But then too, I wanted to go back to work because I didn't want to be off on baby leave for like 3 months. And then you get 5 months from date of occurrence until date of coming back. And then it's like, I don't want to like say like lose like passion or like lose a spark or whatever.
Right.
Didn't want to like be second guessing myself on
Or
things.
fear yourself out of it. Yeah.
I haven't ever had any issues really related to it. It's been
No trauma or nothing like that afterwards that you had to deal with, and then.
I mean, obviously, there's been like shitty times where it's like 1 year anniversary. Hard to believe it's already been like a year.
It is.
Yeah.
Because it was 2 months, off for a month, work for a month. 3 months, I was basically gone till beginning of December. And then it was like getting everything planned to go to DC for the DC trip, for the law enforcement memorial trip. And I forget the number of officers we sent. It was more than 50. And we only have just under 200 people, I think, in our department. And so that was a good trip out there. We had a ton of people donated money to us to be able to go out there. As officers, we didn't have to pay for hotel or
Nice.
airfare.
That's awesome. That's sweet.
I had to pay for my wife's plane ticket, but it's like, whatever, no big deal.
Yeah.
But that was, we left on a Sunday morning and came back on, well, everybody else came back, I think, on Friday. And I went to DC for the NRA convention. And then it's like, from then on, it's summer. It's already August. It's crazy.
It is. It's going by fast.
What part of the rifle did you hit?
I think I hit the bolt area.
Really?
Yep. Took it out of battery. So I think that's where I hit, because he would have been facing that way too, shooting.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously at the time too, I had no clue like what he had in his car either. Then seeing like the pictures, like I saw it before everybody else saw it.
So he had over 1,000 rounds, like
1,800 rounds. There's that picture out there too on the internet.
couple
Couple of rifles, couple 3-4 pistols,
mags, couple propane tanks.
Yep.
Or were they rigged up, or was it just their propane tanks? Remember?
Yeah, I remember. They had stuff in them.
They did.
But there's nothing.
So they're.
I don't even know if they ever came out and said it or not.
I believe they said something like he had some kind of explosive
Bullet
devices
target.
along with the gas. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was wondering if
hand
they.
grenade in there too.
Yeah.
Damn.
The bomb squad handled all that stuff. So those guys were busy too. And then just trying to figure out like.
That was all in his car.
He had his windows painted or something like that, or you could use.
I think he had spray painted black from the inside.
That's what I thought I heard too.
Wow.
But that's why I was like, how you got so close to the car too when you were wrapping around. I was like, God, that's.
Yeah, and I didn't.
You don't know.
I didn't know anything. Like I didn't know if that was his car or
Mhm.
somebody else's car or whatnot. I was completely in the dark as to what was happening. So,
Yeah.
like after the fact, you figure it all out. And it's shit. Like,
Yeah.
what's this guy gonna do? And then it's like, fairly quickly after that, it was this guy gonna go to the street fair? Was he gonna go to the rally
Right.
fair?
So I think it's almost probably safe to assume he was on his way to the street fair, which was just north of
Yeah,
that location, right?
Yeah, if you would have made it to Main Avenue and turned east, it would have been
Right
20
there.
blocks. Yeah,
Yeah.
not even.
Jesus.
Which it was packed. So you guys
And
were
there was
wondering.
a lot of people there.
Lots.
I talked to U.S. Attorney Max Schneider or when I had like a meeting with him, like probably a week or two later. His office is downtown somewhere where you can see like, I don't know if it's Broadway or First Avenue, Second Avenue, whatever. But he's like, I remember looking out my window that day and they're just plumb full of people. And then I've seen pictures too in the past where it's like, shoulder to shoulder, going to all the different markets and tents and things that got set up down there. But yeah, if you would have gone down there with that stuff. It's like,
Yeah, that's crazy.
Absolute carnage. There's no doubt.
yeah, it would have been.
He was equipped for it, for sure.
And then if he's got a vest on with 10 mags in it, and then everybody's running away.
Yeah.
Right?
Did we have any like intel that this guy was looking to make some kind of move in town? Like there was no FBI or nobody involved that kind of was watching this dude already?
No, nothing on him.
Okay.
Nope. And then like they had shown a news clip where he was at like a shooting park where he had was shooting off like exploding targets out there. When he was talking, you could tell he was knowledgeable. He knew what he was doing. He was like, "Oh, I've already mixed it. Like, I already mixed this. It's like a binary compound where they got to mix them both together." And but he was like smart enough to know, like, it's just fertilizer. Like, you dump it on the ground, the rain's just gonna wash it away. Which is what it is.
Damn.
So I know that he looked up on what is it, his computer, mass casualty events.
Oh,
mass
shooting
gatherings or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And there was another one. I thought he I thought he had one. It was like how to kill a bunch of people or something like that. Something crazy.
He may have. I don't.
But
like a ton of whatever was been put on the news. That's all that there is.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing much.
So my only question was, I watched the documentary with the Boston Bombers, and I believe it was the older brother that got put on a Guardian report, and that term has been thrown around so much from this guy because he was also on a Guardian report.
Right.
So
I think from my knowledge about that is I could do that about you right now. And then if they look at it and it's nothing, it's nothing.
Yeah.
And I think that's how it went. It's like, oh, there's nothing on this guy.
So he made the list, but there was nothing there.
Yeah, it wasn't even a list. It was more so like a
checkup.
Like a tip. Like we get like all the time, like say somebody calls in a suspicious person.
Gotcha.
Or they got a lot of guns in their house. Well, guess what? So is everybody else.
Yeah.
And
but there was where was this guy from? Like Syria?
Syria. Yep. So I think he had moved over here in 2010, 12.
Yeah.
13.
Yep. So you haven't gotten a reason why he just decided to.
I don't think there was any reason.
That's crazy.
Yeah, just from what I know, no criminal history.
Yeah.
No clear motives, no nothing. That's nuts.
It is nuts.
See, that's what I'm glad he's dead. Don't get me wrong. But I would just I'm just so curious about what the hell.
Like his why.
What was it? What was it? What were you, why?
What was the end goal?
You came over here for a better life. You got a better life because Syria is a shithole. And then you go and plan this bullshit. I mean, he ended up with multiple bullets in his body, but what was it?
Which I knew, never will. I don't, I've been asked this question too 100 times too.
Yeah.
I literally have no clue.
And he doesn't have family or anything here, right?
Not that I know of.
Strange.
Yeah.
There may have been some distant families somewhere in the country, but nobody local for sure. So I know that got brought up, like what do we do with him? Like finding a Mexican and whatnot, and there was any.
Toss him out at sea like they did Bin Laden.
Yeah.
So we have the video of the body cams and stuff to play back. We did have your permission to go ahead and take a look at it. It's not the longer version of the video, which in one of the longer versions, I remember seeing as some of the officers are kind of out there investigating and talking to people, you can see him just sitting in his car watching.
Yep.
And that just makes it all that much more creepier, man, to be able to witness that happening for the first couple minutes while he's just chilling in his car, staring out at everybody, and then he becomes this
Target.
assassin.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
It's just nuts, man. I couldn't imagine what that'd feel like.
Yeah. What do you know? And I'm sure this has been talked about. It like, do you know when the next officer arrived? Because it had to have been really quick.
Yeah, it was right. It was like from the time the first shot happened to the time the last one, he was there like within 30 seconds.
I was gonna say because it couldn't have been like super long because I had drove by the accident because I work over in that same area right by the jail house, and I drove past the accident, saw everything. I was like, oh, okay, and then I got to locked out. Oh,
I heard something.
I was like, what the fuck? I ended up going to work. I was just dropping something off, and then I was on my way back. So maybe I was gone 10 minutes, and I see officers on the corners of like the strip mall.
Oh,
I saw officers on the corners, and then I was like, oh, and so I cut back behind the building, and I saw officers on that corner as well. I was like, okay, I'm gonna dip around because I live around that area. So I was like that it happened so fast, and then I just called all my immediate family because I didn't know what was going on that was in that area, and I said go somewhere else. So just like, damn,
That's nuts.
that right away too. I called the wife first, and I said, hey, there was. She said she could tell like something was wrong. Get my voice going out, and I was like, hey, there was just a shooting. I'm gonna be home late.
Mhm.
She's like, okay. Call me when you're on your home. And I did the same to my dad. I was like, hey, I was just involved in a shooting. I'm okay though. It's gonna be on the news and whatnot. He's like, okay, glad you're okay. Let me know like when you're done. I was like, all right, sounds good.
damn.
That's wild.
Your families are real G's.
Yeah.
I was gonna
They
say,
didn't quite know the extent of it.
yeah.
So if they would have
Yeah.
known the full extent, it would have probably been a little more like freaked out.
Yeah, I'm sure since you never assume something like that. You don't. Yeah.
Cool. Let's put this on here. We'll take a look at this this video. This is just going to be the body cam footage, I believe, from your body cam, if I'm not mistaken. So.
Yeah.
Dramatic body cam footage from the July 14th mass shooting in Fargo that killed Officer Jake Wallin, injured 2 officers and a civilian. North Dakota Attorney General Drew Wrigley and Fargo Police Chief Dave Zabalski says Officer Zach Robinson took control of the situation with extreme
This is you
restraint
walking right now, right?
just after seeing 3 fellow officers and a civilian go down by gunfire. Police believe the shooter, 37-year-old Mohammed Barakat, was on the way to a downtown street fair and intended to commit a mass shooting. 4 rifles, 3 handguns, 1,800 rounds of ammunition, a canister of gasoline, and a propane tank filled with explosive material were found in his car.
That reaction time is insane.
Yeah.
Central, we got a man with an AK-47. He's shooting at us. We're at
Jesus.
Central, shots fired, shots fired. We got 3 officers down. 3 officers down.
God.
Send everybody.
That right there, that phrase, send everybody, sends chills.
Stop moving! Stop moving! Put your hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Fargo 534, 3 officers down. Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
can't believe that.
Drop the gun!
He just wouldn't go down though. That's so insane. His passion to do what he was gonna do was there. Or he was on something.
Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
See ya.
That's the first officer right there.
Send the gun! He's the only one.
Man,
That's crazy.
yeah, that's something else.
So he blacked out his windows because he didn't want anybody to see what was all in there, huh?
Probably. Yeah.
So he had all that shit in the back seat or trunk?
So,
Yeah.
A little bit of both. I've heard too from other people that's like a Middle Eastern thing that they do overseas.
Really?
I never saw that, but like in Iraq and Afghanistan, they do that. So probably that same thing too to prevent you from seeing inside.
That's nuts.
It is crazy just how impressive like all of our cops are. Like everybody just went in. Like you said, send everybody, and they did
The
exactly
training,
that. You know, they just
the instincts and the training that you guys displayed throughout this whole situation was insane, man. Like, I think it made a lot of people really proud in this area to be like, man, these are our cops, these are our people, these are the ones out here serving and protecting. That's pretty badass.
yeah, because even that officer, like, he didn't know.
He was under 2 weeks away from retirement.
Wow.
So he was just about retired. Like he had actually driven by us probably 3 minutes prior.
Oh.
And gave like the thumbs up, and it's like, yeah, we're good. He was like, all right, I'm out of here. Kept driving.
Wow.
Oh my God.
What's crazy is how seldom big events happen in this area, and for you guys to all be that well prepared and trained to take on a situation like this, that was insane. Because you've seen it happen in places where they have such high crime and they fumble the game plan all the time. In this situation, I mean, you guys were just on your game.
Yeah, you guys are on it. I know when John sent me this body cam footage, man, that
Chills.
it fired him up. He was ready. He was ready to become an officer after that.
Yeah, I was like, man, we should all go sign up, bro.
He's
This
like, we
is-
got to suit up.
their
boys.
training was on. Like, it was impressive, man. And I got chills every time I watched it, because I watched it, 100 times after we saw the footage release, and just hearing you say, send everybody. Like, man, that was just like chills through my whole body. It was nuts.
The one thing we talked about multiple times was like prior to that moment in time, like the cities in Minneapolis and stuff was like, let's defund the police. And that was just like a big thing going on prior to that. And so it was nuts to see everybody come together and really be here for our officers here in North Dakota. So
Right. And that was something like I never. Obviously, after Officer Moses was killed, I was just got hired right after that, and I remember back then, like everybody had a blue light on their house and whatnot. And talking with officers that were here at that time, like the amount of food that got dropped off at the station, that was like hey, like we're good, we don't need any more. And that was kind of the same with us too. Like we had like our hallway. I mean, you didn't have to buy lunch. Like you could have enough beef jerky to
Yeah.
all day. Same with people dropping off meals and restaurants dropping off. Pretty much every single restaurant. And
That's
then
so-
to like support from everybody, like the whole way out to like the funeral in Pequot Lakes, like the road was lined like the whole way. I like went out in Fargo in 2016, and there was people everywhere because they had like the road, like the route they were taking. It was packed then, and then when Officer Cody Holte was killed up in Grand Forks, we went up there because his brother Brady was working for us at the time. So we sent a ton of people up there for that. And same thing, roads were lined. And then here from Fargo all the way to, we drove through town, got on Highway 10, went all the way to how we get to Pequot Lakes. And every little city was lined up the whole way out there.
That is crazy.
Crazy. Never expected that. But shows like where we live too. People are very grateful
Yeah.
for us and whatnot. And probably not going to get that in some areas of the country, but
Yep.
Around here, you definitely do.
Yeah. It's evident, man.
Yep. And then too, like with people stopping by my house like nonstop, my neighbors figured out pretty quick, like I was involved in it.
Yeah.
And two, with like security issues, like we didn't know with this guy, like if there was other people around.
Right.
So I had like 24-hour security around my house.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah, for like probably a week, 2 weeks maybe. It would have kept going too, but I was like, after a while, I was like,
Yeah.
you guys, we can be done with this.
So there was never any additional threats or anything that ever came about after all this happened?
None that I know of.
It just seems to be a one-off situation, which makes it so much more suspicious about who this guy was, where he came from, and what his motives were. Because
That's what I'm saying.
there's nothing there. He's just a lone, actor and no background to really be found, no next to kins, no nothing. Also, no follow up to, what he was attempting to do. There was no other, people
I don't
involved
know.
with him. Yeah, it's nuts.
I feel like he was radicalized by something. Somehow. I mean, obviously,
we're
got
big
troops in
conspiracy
Syria right
theorists
now.
here.
Right.
you know,
So we believe in like the MK Ultra and all that crazy shit. So like you never know what this guy could have been involved with or who got him involved to what he was doing. But just the stories just seem so fishy still that this guy was
it's
just
strange.
out the blue. That's crazy.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
thank God you were there, man.
Do you? I'm sorry if I don't know, but do you have any follow up like on the other two officers that did make it out?
So they're both still doing rehab. They both had, I don't even know how many surgeries. But hopefully by the end of the year they'll both be good to go. Hopefully, there's no like hard date with anything that they're hoping for.
Hmm.
We've gotten to know Tyler pretty well, and then Dotus, like our wives go work out together, our kids play together. They got one 3-year-old boy, then I've got a 2 just about 3-year-old, 3 next month. So
Yeah, but that's wild.
Yeah. And they're like standard toddlers where like one will play there and one will play there, and then they're just like eventually they kind of commingle. They don't or they'll like play with each other, but they don't talk.
They just sit there and stare at each other.
You guys can like say something,
Yeah.
or they'll grab a toy that they haven't played with for like a year. Like, I want that one. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, you don't. Push that feeling. Yeah. No, they're both doing good. Both great attitudes. It could be pretty hard if they didn't have the positivity that they both have, because they obviously were very critically wounded, and had they not had their mindset,
Yeah.
Right.
They've definitely had setbacks along the way, but they knew at the time, after they got stabilized and whatnot, that was going to be a long road to recovery.
Yeah.
But they're doing a lot better now.
Good. That's great to hear. So.
Indeed.
Yeah.
How long have you known Jake Wallin? Was he riding with you the whole time when he was?
No, so he had been with 2 other trainers, I think, for phase A and B. I had filled in with him once on fairly early because he was assigned a day shift for you have like your first 2 phases, then a midterm, then you have your last 2 phases, then a final. So he was on day shift for his first 2 phases. And I don't even remember who he went with for 1 and 2. I remember I had filled in for him once for a day, and then I was with him for like the 4 or 5 shifts, and then I think we only had those would have been that day, and I think Saturday, Sunday, and we would have been done with each other, and then he would have proceeded on to like the next phase, wherever that would have gone. But no, he's 23. I think he was an E5 sergeant in the Army.
Yeah.
I forget what he was. He wasn't MP. Maybe he was.
Was he North Dakota? Do you know?
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Okay.
But yeah, he'd been in for 6 years, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
Had done the academy with us. So he got hired with us, did the academy, then was going through training. No, not enough positive things to say about him. Obviously, like, I didn't know him very well. Like 60, 70 hours I spent with him in a squad car. Just good kid, eager to learn. He's doing fine. Like before we even went to this call, that like we were driving there, and he like straight up asked me, he's like, "Hey, how am I doing?" I'm like, "Dude, you're fine. Like, you're good to go. Like, just keep doing what you're doing. You have no issues going forward." Like, okay. Like took obviously like when you're a brand new cop, for some people it's hard to take criticism, like when you do something wrong. Whether it's like procedural wise, like leadership, officer safety, like emotional intelligence, whatnot. But you say like, "Hey, like do this next time," it's like, got it, let me fix it. So like, literally like a model like training. So, super good. And I know in the academy excelled through that. Like one of the top PT guys. He's like 5'11", 170. He can probably run like the wind.
Damn.
Faster than me. But no, he's like good kid. Since then I've gotten to meet his parents too several times. So Jeff and Amy and his brother Brady. They're doing well, obviously, but we got to see him, or as well as they can be, I should say. We got to see him here in when the Blue Angels were in town. They came to town. So what was that? 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
So they're up here for that. And then we just gotten to know him too since everything. Super good family. Nothing but good things to say about them. They try to come up here as much as they can for different events and whatnot. And, definitely still like a part of the department and will be forever. But yeah, so we're always thinking about them too. I can't imagine what they've been going through the last year, and they've done a lot of different things too, different events, memorial events. They were brought out to DC too for everything. If I remember correctly, they were out there a couple days prior. Because that 5 days in DC, 4 or 5 days in DC, where it's like all the events, like it's nonstop. Like we got there, like day one was the candlelight vigil, I think, and then we had stuff like the next day, like department stuff, and then them as like family members of deceased line of duty death. They get escorted, like police escort everywhere they go down there, and they're like bus. I mean, they're all housed in the same general area, I believe. So they came to like every event we went to. They got set up with a Capitol tour. So like not the Capitol tour that like you and I would go to. Like they got like the good one.
Yeah.
Then his fiance Winter was there too for it. Then after we all left, I think they got to stay there a couple extra days and just go like relax. And they were on their trip out there, but they got to go then actually kind of enjoy themselves and not be bombarded with questions and whatnot.
Yeah,
that was good for them.
Nice. I know you speak to like their recognition and stuff. What kind of recognition have you gotten, if any, since this has all happened? Have you received any kind of awards, medals, or anything like that?
So I got
Top cop, right?
top cop. Yeah,
Nice.
That was actually the first day we flew into DC on a Sunday. It was that night, and I don't think any of us really knew what to expect going into that.
Did they tell you were getting awarded, or?
Yep. Yeah. So
Okay, so you knew it.
So it was like a pre-planned
Okay.
thing going down there. And I had gotten nominated by I think the North Dakota Fraternal Order of Police, and so it's 10. There's 10. Let's say it's cops. It's like 10 situations, scenarios that played out. 10 events, I guess, is the proper term. So you had like there was one young officer down south somewhere who they were on like a domestic. His partner was killed. He was shot several times, but he shot and killed the suspect. So he was one of them. We got a husband and wife who I forget where they were working at, but they were at like a domestic, and a guy rounded the corner with a rifle and shot her. He worked in the same city or county, I don't recall what. And he was the first responding officer to get there. So he picked up his wife, threw her in the back of the car. They beelined it to the hospital. And that happened in, I believe it was last summer sometime, when she was still recovering. There was a school shooting. It was the one where it was all over the news when it happened. But it was a kind of a static situation where they didn't hear any gunfire. They were kind of looking around for this guy. Then they heard gunfire. They went over to him and found this suspect was shooting at responding officers getting there. He around the corner and mowed this guy down.
In like the library or whatever
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, I remember.
That's right.
That one was crazy because the cops they did a great job as well. They were like strategic and everything, and then they rounded the corner and popped them. That was a good one. We watched that on here, I want to say too. I don't remember where it was either, but
You're talking about the Catholic school one?
no, I don't think
I
maybe
thought it was definitely a school.
because there was that, and then
Did any of the students get shot?
Maybe.
Okay.
I think so, because I think the stuff was blurred out in their body cams when they were running over.
because in that one they were shooting out of the window
was
too.
the Covenant Catholic shooting?
It was like a handful of officers.
Yeah.
I think it was
The shot was amazing.
The shot was crazy amazing.
But it was that was the transgender mass shooter.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That wasn't the Uvalde?
No,
No,
okay,
a
okay.
different one.
Different
But
one.
we talked about this one on the
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah,
It was we might even watch the video, but I don't know if we
We
played
did.
it.
We
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, I
It was an
remember that.
amazing shot. For sure.
So you had those guys down there, and then there's a bunch of there's some incidents that I had heard of, and some that I had heard from. And I was like, holy shit!
It's crazy the shit that we don't hear about that goes on out there.
You're sheltered based off because what's big in the media right now, presidential race.
Right.
So you're not seeing that stuff that happens around the country. That's obviously happening every single day.
Yeah.
But we're not, as viewers, we're not getting able to see that.
Right.
So that was a really cool event. I'm glad I got to go to that. And then we had a bunch of people from the department that were able to attend that too. So yeah, it was at the Omni. I think it was an Omni hotel. I walked in. I'm like, I'm out of place here. And,
Nice as hell.
yeah, it was super nice.
That's awesome.
And it was like a dinner speaking thing. It was cool. But then we had Governor Burgum was there, Senator Hoven, Attorney General Wrigley. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Our chief mayor, Dotus Haas. And then we had probably 10, 15 other people from the department. I think total there was probably 700 people.
Wow.
And then I found out when I was there, you got to give a speech. So I just kind of winged it.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So, I got told beforehand, hey, you might have to give something. I was like, okay, well, let me know. And then the first person went up there was like, shit.
Yeah.
They come up with this elaborate prepared speech, and here comes Zach.
Yeah, so some people had stuff written out, and I just went up there and winged it. And it's I don't know what I'm going to say, but figure it out when I get up there.
Yeah.
I
How'd you
got told
do?
that They said I did good, but
Nice.
I also haven't watched it back either.
Okay.
So I don't know. I think I can public speak fairly well.
Yeah.
So there was that Top Cop. That was a really cool event. And then it went on till we left before it got we had the bar open. But I was in uniform and I didn't want to drink in uniform either. So we went back and changed. We had events right away the next morning. Or no, the next morning was our off day. It's kind of the next morning. So 9 to 1, 2, we went and did the sightseeing and basically just went to the World War II Memorial, Vietnam Memorial, Lincoln Memorial, saw walked the Monument Pond, walked past Korea, but didn't go through it. It was a lot of walking. And then we got to the end and we're now we're getting scooters for the way back. And I still got the notifications on my phone from Lime. I'm not in DC anymore. So
They're fun though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so much easier to get around. It was super hot. Or I wasn't super hot, but it was like 87 degrees that day.
Yeah.
And we were just like super exhausted too. But so yeah, the Top Cop award. Then after DC, I went down to Dallas, Texas for the NRA Officer of the Year Award. So I got to go through. I got there on was it Friday, left on Monday. Went through, like, met a bunch of the guys right away. Met Ted Nugent.
Nice.
Motor City Madman.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, he's super, super nice though.
Yeah.
I talked to him for like 5-10 minutes. Went through all their, like, this huge vendor area down there. Yeah, go walk through, do whatever you want. And I like guns personally. I don't have like a huge collection, but I like seeing different things. And it's funny, my wife was like, "Oh, that's a cute purse." And she's like, "Wait, is that for like concealed carry?" I'm like, "Yes." It's like, look where we're at here.
Yep.
And it's not cute.
Yeah.
It's badass.
Yeah, it was awesome. Super expensive though.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I did that. Had the I had like one day down there. My cousin had lived down there. They were actually in the process of moving, but they lived in like a suburb of Dallas. We went to their house for a day, and they had a pool in their backyard, so just got to kind of relax. And then we had ceremony. So they had like Officer of the Year. They had like volunteer awards, all different awards related to NRA activities and whatnot. And then you also got to meet a ton of people down there too, which was really cool. But we had like our home ceremony here. So they did like kind of a ceremony like surrounding the whole event from that day. So then I was awarded the Medal of Honor. Dotus and Haas both got Purple Hearts.
Wow.
We also awarded the firefighters Medal of Valor, I believe. So that's our second highest award at the police department.
That's awesome.
And then they had like all like the Chiefs awards that they give out. So it was a lot of the officers donated a ton of time towards like, well, there was being like a liaison for the family, or just being there for the officers when they were injured, being in the hospital, like donating a ton of their time, which they would have done regardless. But I think it was still just important just to recognize like what they did, like went above and beyond like what they were supposed to do. So that was in December. Trying to think what else. North Dakota Chiefs Association got an award there, so I went to Minot for it. That was a good, like, I had ran into some guys that I went to. It was like a 3-week leadership class in February, March, and April. Leadership in police organizations, LPO for short. So I got to meet or see a lot of guys I went through that class with. And then also too was they had like Glock there, Axon, Motorola, Stalker, which is like our radar. So like kind of like the basic things that we use every day, and then basically like trying to get like customers and whatnot. But we had a lot of that. We were very lucky here in Fargo with like technology we've got on right now. It's like they were all there. I was like, we got that, and that. So,
Nice.
then just to talk to them to see like how it works, and like if
Yeah.
something would break, how do you fix it? So I got a lot of business cards from people.
Cool.
Like if you ever need help, call me. Like, I'm literally your representative for you guys. And so like I'm here to help you. Coming up, there's only one thing left, and that's the so that LPO class that I went to was run by the IACP, International Association of Chiefs of Police. So I'm a nominee for that / Axon. So Axon is like our body cameras.
Okay.
And there's 1 out of 4 nominees for Officer of the Year for 2023. So that's in Boston in October. And then once that's done, it'll hopefully be fly under the radar.
You're done. You're ready to be done traveling, and
Yeah. So every month this year, I've been in a hotel room at some point.
Damn.
And may not seem like a lot for somebody, but
Yeah.
somebody who like go to the cities for a Twins game every once in a while, like it's been, and some of that was self-inflicted too. Some training that I went to, and I also got to go to New York and do a critical incident debrief of what happened.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So we've actually been asked to go back. We had a scheduling conference we couldn't go. But that was in Saratoga Springs, New York. They were super cool out there. They flew us out there, hotel room, everything. Picked us up at the airport, dropped us back off. Everything down there was walking distance. So we just walked wherever we had to go. We did 2 briefings. One was to a bunch of bomb techs. And then, so I did we had me and 2 other guys who were able to go out there. And so I talked for 20 minutes on the shooting part of it. And then they went over the explosive side of it. And then we did the same thing in front of over 100 explosive canine handlers there. And New York, they obviously have a ton of cops.
Yeah.
And, a ton of bomb sniffing dogs too. So it was a symposium. Yeah. That's what it was called for them. So it was good. We got to listen to some of their speakers too, which were really knowledgeable. So we got some training, got to meet a lot of people out there too for it, made some good contacts. We actually got to talk to one of the guys that we were talking to for another incident. And he's like, "Hey, I'm Josh." I'm like, "Oh, nice to meet you." So, small world, but there's only so many guys in that world, I guess. It was cool to see it. But yeah, it's just been kind of go. And then on top of that too, having a 2-year-old and a newborn too,
Yeah.
trying to work through that. And I think I'm sure all parents would agree that you just brainwash the first 6 months of their lives. You don't get any sleep. And then you're like, you know what? You should have more of these. And it's like, man, I remember from September through February. It was good. It goes by quick too.
So you got 2?
Yeah, 2 boys. So now they're both good. One's at swimming, or he should be done with swimming lessons now. Last time a little accident in the pool.
Nice.
He couldn't recover from. So he's potty trained, but I think that was norovirus. So both of them were having some GI issues.
Yeah.
But he had straight up panic look on his face. I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh God!" I'm like, "Get out of the pool!" Using little up to his knees.
Yeah.
Got him out of there quick, and then I was like, I don't even know where to start with this. I figured it out.
That's how it works. It's
panic.
18 years of figuring it out, bro.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that definitely made the year go by super fast too.
Yeah.
And doing work on top of that, and training, and go to the gym in the morning too. So I would go there on day shift. I wake up at 3:33. My alarm goes off in the morning.
Damn, you really are Jocko.
Yeah, no, he has more consistency than I do. I had a moment of weakness this morning.
Okay.
You woke up at 3:45.
Today or yesterday. I was late at work yesterday. Today I was kind of an off. I didn't start till 7. It kind of messes up my whole routine.
Yeah.
So I'm I'll just go to it's deadlifts. I don't really want to do those.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, shit, dude. I think it's I just want to give a shout out to Officer Waleed. There's no doubt in my mind that there was a sacrifice there. He sacrificed himself. You were able to get that shot off, and I know for a fact that if that guy made it down to that street fair, there would have been fucking who knows how many bodies, right?
Yeah.
So, shout out to him. But again, shout out to you because just if people don't realize, like, you saved a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, saved a lot of freaking people. You can always remember that. So I think that's pretty freaking awesome, dude. That's awesome. Kind of going back to like the 2020 era. We've talked about this several times on here, and we kind of talked about it with Jesse a little bit, Johnner. And where were you at during the whole freaking George Floyd thing? Were you
Downtown Fargo.
downtown during that ordeal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right up front. I actually worked the night shift the night before. So I got done at, I think, 8 in the morning. And we were all like, told like, hey, have your phone on you, just in case you got to get like called in or whatnot. And so I had my phone on me, but I was also working nights and tired. I had blackout curtain in my room, so it's just pitch black in there. So I'd woken up, I think, to my alarm at like 4:30, 5-ish. And I saw like a text message on my phone, like all personnel reports to the PD.
Damn.
And so I got up, ran out in our old house. So I walked out in the living room, like, what's going on downtown? My wife was watching TV. She's like, they're like rioting at the PD surrounded. I was like, why didn't you wake me up? She's like, well, you were sleeping. All right. So
It's like, I'm not sending you out there.
I just said, okay. Put on my clothes and left. But yeah, so then I got to the station. It was kind of like everybody's in kind of a holding pattern. Just kind of waiting for the next thing to go off. Because obviously, like officers all over the city, monitoring everything. Just kind of waiting.
You don't want to escalate the situation further.
If they're being peaceful, let them be peaceful. Obviously, things got escalated when they started jumping on squad cars.
Yeah,
that was insane.
That was all on video.
Yep. So that was on First Avenue and Broadway, roughly in that area. So they backed out, and then we all got then sent down. I hopped in the back of the squad car, actually, in the cage area, and got down there, and then got out, and they forgot to let me out. So I banged on the door.
Pause real quick. Did you arrest anybody that jumped on the squad vehicle? Not you personally, but the Fargo PD?
They did after.
Do you know if they were from around here or if they were from out of town? Okay. All right, go ahead.
So I got sent downtown, and then we had like our gas masks on and everything, so we were all ready to go. But we didn't have any like riot shields or helmets right away. And so we got those fairly quick, started getting rocks thrown at us.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
What are they? So it was just like random rocks in the ground, or
so they had
or do they have backpacks?
landscaping rocks.
Oh,
around like trees and stuff down there.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
And then there's construction going on too. And they had random stuff everywhere. But they were from a distance, so you kind of see them coming. I tried to deflect them down, just slap them with your hands out of the air. I got hit in the ankle a couple times, and that didn't feel the greatest.
You didn't have the
No, I didn't get
shin guards.
No, not at that point. A couple people got hit in the head with bricks, and they got sent to the hospital. No, like major injuries from what I recall. But then we gave like the warnings that like, this is the Fargo Police Department. You are participating in an unlawful assembly. You need to vacate the area now or whatever. So you give those statements over and over again. And then it was gas time.
Yeah, they gave a warning for 15 minutes.
It was
a
longer
countdown.
than that, I believe.
Well, yeah. I just remember watching it like, okay, 15 minutes. All right, 10 minutes. All right, 5 minutes. Dude, you guys have plenty of warning. So if you're sitting around, and I just bring that up because I remember there was somebody at the gym that was bitching about it. Like, oh yeah, they gashed. I was just like, they gave you multiple warnings. So
it wasn't a surprise.
Don't be bitching about it. You know?
There's obviously like some lessons learned too on certain things that could have done differently. Just like better for next time and whatnot. But it's obviously like the time it was kind of a cluster, not a cluster from our end, but like
all around.
We've never been in this situation before either. There's been like riots in town in the past, but nothing like that. But yeah, it was just from like my perspective, it was just kind of hold the line, everybody stay in line, push forward when you're told to push forward, and then just like you're scanning left, right, make sure you're not getting too far out in front of anybody. But then like towards the end, it was just only just a couple little stragglers left, and
Yeah, once the gas came, they
a
kind
lot
of
people
dispersed.
kind of scattered. Yeah.
Yeah.
You had the people that were like vandalizing because the Vinyl Taco and
JL.
Yeah.
Was it it's now Blarney Stone, what it used to be back then.
The Hodo.
That got vandalized too.
Yeah.
And then you had like some new construction buildings that had like the big windows, had rocks thrown through them, and spray paint everywhere. I never like so after we got done with that, we all went back to so we got done at I don't know 2 in the morning roughly, midnight 2, I don't remember. Then I just got sent back to the station. We just sat there. We had people drop off like food and drinks for us. We just kind of sat there and waited. We didn't know like what was going to happen next. Because it's going to be a
Cities thing. Yeah.
Cities thing, you know.
That was ours was after Minneapolis, right?
Yeah. So ours was on May 30th of 2020.
And then theirs was like a week or so prior. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. It burned a lot longer though.
Yeah.
It's crazy how easily everyone is so manipulated.
Well, there was rumors too, wasn't it, that there was people being bussed from like the cities and stuff here to kind of get things riled up, I heard.
Well, that's what makes me wonder. I was like, I just have a hard time believing that. I mean, you get people from all over the country that live here, but for them just to show, like, these people just to randomly gather and then start throwing rocks at these guys, it just seems a little suspect to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm very suspicious now. You know, I question everything nowadays.
But no, it was, and that was right too in the middle of COVID. So we're supposed to be social distancing, too.
Yeah.
Didn't happen that night.
Obviously, yeah.
No mask, no social distancing needed for that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then after that, things luckily calmed down a little bit. And then
Yeah.
COVID
Did you guys get called up at all to do anything in Minnesota?
No, we did not know. We had a couple guard guys that got sent out there, Minnesota guard guys, but other than that, we didn't have to do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I know our there was a couple our military police was ready to go, but they never got called up, luckily.
Yeah.
But what did you think about Kamala Harris's VP pick?
See?
Believe me, I'm in the same boat as you, but we all witnessed what happened during the entire 2020 era and how horrible that was. They were screaming defund the police, and now they're bitching about the crime going up there. You can't have one without the other. It's not rocket science, guys. It's not rocket science. I will never understand that logic. Liberal logic, I call it. Liberal logic.
None of that stuff is even going on anymore. They fixed it.
No, they didn't.
He didn't hear they
Except
fixed
there's
it.
ghost towns all over the place down there now.
Yeah, you go to Minneapolis and there's stuff that's closed,
Still
left and
boarded
right.
up.
Oh, it's crazy. The
Yeah.
gas stations all are like, there's no regular gas station anymore. You can't go
Everybody's
in
behind
like,
a window.
yeah, or they got bars, either or.
That's sad.
It is.
It's nuts.
All because a guy overdosed.
Yeah.
We respect it. We respect it.
I talked to when John was on here, we
talked about it.
he had to navigate through what I was seeing. I was like, hey, I read the freaking report. I watched the video. I was like, there's no way that 120-pound dude killed that huge guy when he was already freaking out in the back of the car. You know,
Could have there been tactics done differently?
for sure.
100%.
I mean,
The thing though is
optics alone.
if you've seen the stuff that they don't show us, the textbook example of how of doing that particular maneuver or whatever you want to call it, the picture was identical to what he was doing, and they didn't want no one to see that. They were hiding that from everyone. It was his actual training book that had that picture in it.
Yep.
So
Did you
it's
watch
crazy.
that documentary?
Yeah.
The Fall of Minnesota.
Yeah.
I watched it.
pretty crazy.
Kind of over social media again now.
Yeah,
It
right now it
is.
is, yo.
Yep.
It's nuts. Like
I mean, it's prelude to what we can expect if this ticket makes
That's what makes me very worried. Not only for police officers, but military as well.
Yeah.
You know?
people act like people don't die all the time. Like it's just like that's happens. It happens all the time. Not because he's black, but it just happened. He was black, and they got it all on video. And
the timing was perfect.
The
timing was perfect for government to get a hold of that and really push that agenda and get everyone riled up. And then tell them, and then you tell them you're not going to get in trouble if you do it, and if you do get in trouble, we'll bail you out. Why would anyone back down?
Bail them out.
Yeah.
Why would anyone back down from that? It makes perfect sense.
They bailed out people that burned down an entire police precinct.
Yeah, that's insane. We don't have to get super political with you. I'm sure that's not what you came here for.
Let him get home to his kids.
Yeah, hey, I do want to say, like, we really appreciate you giving us the time to come on and do this, man. It was a really big event for our community here, and I think a lot of people have similar feelings and emotions about what went down and what you did there. So hats off to you, and we don't have no medals or accolades that we can give you to say thank you, man. But I would like to.
This podcast blows up after this. We're gonna get our
I would like to extend just in my gratitude, man. I'd like to offer you a free lifetime membership at my gym for you and your wife if she ever wanted, just for a secondary gym. I know you guys have a gym you train at right now. As well, if you give me your contact info after this, I want to shoot you a gift card to our supplement store as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thanks for what you did for this community, bro. That was like super big. It's very appreciative, and I respect your training and your instincts at the time, man. That was powerful stuff. So thank you.
I think a lot of these younger guys could take a page out of your book. Just that's a real man right there.
Straight up.
That's how a man acts. You know, when shit hits the fan and your back is against the door, that's how you react. Calm and collected.
It could have just went a whole like you could have sat behind the car.
Right.
You really could have. So that is nuts. Like
there's a lot of different things that could have happened.
Yeah.
Obviously, Monday morning quarterback too. So say I did like do that, but then it's like, what do you do? That didn't happen, obviously. But luckily, like I haven't had any second thoughts about anything.
Yeah.
Thought it happened as quick as it possibly could given the circumstances. It's like I thought about what was it? You see the movie Flight?
Yep.
Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
Or not Flight. Sully.
Yep.
That one.
Yep.
It was Tom Hanks.
Yep.
Oh, yep.
He lands in the Hudson, then he's like the first 7 seconds. It's like, oh, shit, well, what's going on here? And when they're doing all like the debriefs on it, like to figure out like it took you 30 seconds to turn around on your plane. Why it took you 30 seconds? Like in the simulator, we were able to turn this around and land on at LaGuardia or whatever, and it was no factor. It was like, yeah, I didn't know what was happening at the time. And I was like, looking back, it's like the first 7 seconds, it's like, what's happening here?
Mm-hmm.
No clue what's happening.
When you were going through that, was it just like autopilot almost? Like you just were like zoned in and you just kind of, that's crazy.
Autopilot, but then I thought I did like a good job being able to think too, like what's occurring.
Yeah. Not
just, we've all seen like the videos of like, somebody in whatever situation, say a police officer in a sense, where they go, I wouldn't say rogue, but like panic. Like,
Yeah.
You don't know what you're going to do.
The acorn guy.
Yeah, that's a good
Oh, shit. That was bad. Yeah.
Like this last idiot, the boiling water.
Oh,
yeah.
Sure.
Like, let's go with acorn guy. Panics, doesn't know what to do, freaks out. Right.
I mean, he went into full superhero mode, but all the wrong way. Like that dude was diving on the ground, rolling, shooting, bro, like at nothing.
Yeah.
That's just insane.
And two, I don't know the guy either.
Yeah.
He's got some stuff he's gonna have to work through and whatnot. But yeah, so I never had like those second thoughts or anything, which I think is very fortunate.
Yeah.
For me too. I think you definitely beat yourself up over it. If you thought you could have done something different and maybe done something a little quicker, so those guys didn't get shot as much, or so you didn't get that one extra round off that got Jake, or the 5 more rounds that got Carly, or whatnot. So, but no, it was a giant cluster, and it worked out the way it did. But I've never had the second thoughts either, which has been, I think, good for the mental.
Yeah,
Sure.
sure.
I watching that video over and over, there's no way that you could have done
different.
anything different and be any faster than what you were.
Yeah.
So that was
Quick.
freaking fast.
Yeah, that was quick.
No one will be able to say I would have did this. You know what I mean? They really can't, because it's like what would
But
you?
that's why, like, the training, man. I keep going back to, like, it's got to be some of the most impeccable training that you guys go through for you to instinctively and in the midst of chaos and confusion be able to just react the way you did. Everything was just automatic for you.
Yeah, and that's a big thing with us is kind of like, well, in anything, right? Like lifting weights, practice hockey, whatever, football. It's like you get out of it what you put into it.
Yep.
We only get so much training time allotted, like every other department in the country. Like we're obviously short a couple people. We have a ton of people in the academy right now. We've got, I wouldn't say a ton, we got like 11 in the academy. We got 10, 13 people in training right now.
It's awesome.
So we're kind of just waiting on bodies, but also from the time a officer gets a full offer till the time they're on their own riding by themselves is, I don't know, 9 months.
Yeah.
So it takes a while. Or from the time they start the fill out their background check information. It's a long process. It's not just like, say at a sales guy at a car dealership.
Right.
That week you're selling cars. It's a process for it. So,
Here's your gun. Hit the streets, dude.
yeah.
You
Well,
got
yeah,
it.
I mean, I think it's a good thing that it's that long,
Yep.
And
Then too in the academy too. They're especially now we're doing a lot more scenario based stuff, which I think is going to be very beneficial. You're going to have a lot of things that you're going to see before you're dealing with like Joe Schmo out on the street.
sure.
Mhm.
So I think that's really good. That we're going in a good direction.
I do want to ask, with one of Trump thing. Trump is obviously very pro cop, but he said that he wants to fund the police more than what they already, which I totally agree with. But what he also said that police officers should be federally protected. What do you think about that?
Federally protected from,
as in the immunity.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean
Federal immunity from
like
with doing their
lawsuits
jobs.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean obviously agree with that. But everything too is situational dependence too on what happened.
Yeah.
So like
It's circumstantial.
Acorn guy, for
Yeah.
example.
All right.
You can't. Everything's got to be viewed from an officer at the time it occurred, right? You're not when they do their investigations, they're not doing all the what ifs. Like what happened? What was that officer going through at the time the incident occurred, and how was everything perceived through their perception?
So protected, but depending on the situation.
Maybe, yeah. That
I think
gets
that's
into
how
the
Trump
weeds,
phrased it too, though.
So the only thing like that I question it would be like Acorn guy, but also that lady cop that pulled her pistol instead of her taser, shot that dude. So that's the only thing. It's like
It's
I
like
don't
if so then she got charged with manslaughter.
Yeah.
Something. I don't recall 100%.
yeah,
But because you're protected doesn't mean you're not going to get
time.
time.
Okay, I really don't know how that.
Yeah, and I've never been in that situation either. That side of things, right?
Yeah, you're not off. Off. What do you call it? Off strap, or do you put your taser on
Yeah,
your?
cross draw.
Yeah,
You do
cross draw.
Yep.
That's what you do.
Yep. So
Okay.
that's our policies. You have to do cross draw to hopefully prevent that kind of
Yep.
scenario from happening.
And that's obviously what she didn't do. She wasn't.
Yeah, they had same side or
Okay.
I don't remember.
You guys know what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where
We
she
talked
could-
about that
she-
on the
she- she
podcast.
thought
We
she
talked
had
about
her
a lot
gun
of cop
or
stuff
taser
here.
out. Yeah.
I like know a little bit. I talked with a she's obviously not in prison anymore, but I talked with somebody who knows her, and obviously a mistake, like,
Big time.
like, wasn't intentional, like,
Nope.
but I think I don't want to put words in her mouth, but I think that she probably understood that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shitty situation, but then too, you've got like the public that will agree or disagree with it. And then prosecutors get put in that hard spot of what are we going to do when somebody was in good faith doing something,
Right.
but screwed up. And you're dealing with things that have a split second decision can have lifetime worth of consequences.
Absolutely. That's what I was saying. Like cops' jobs are one of the toughest things, one of the toughest jobs out there.
Right.
Because you never know what somebody's going to do.
You never know. Yeah, never know anybody's intention. Like there was a incident here recently where these officers were talking to an individual, and then he was like being super cool, and all of a sudden, boom, tries to take off running. It's like that happens all the time. It never makes the news.
Yeah.
It's like you never know, and like, why is he running? Warrants? Does he have something on him he doesn't want you to find? Like, what's the deal here?
Mhm.
Like, that's a lot of unknowns, but that's where you take in your good like officer safety practice, your awareness of what's going on, getting good intel before you go. We've got like great dispatchers that they have certain questions they ask on every call from service, every call for service as to like what are we getting sent to? What does this person have? Like kind of what are we walking into? So we have a good idea what we're doing before we go there, which is super awesome to have because going in a lot of times, like, yeah, we go in blind. You're not going to know everything all the time. But hopefully have like a general idea. It's like always their weapons in the home. Well, it's like North Dakota. Yes.
Yeah. Assume always.
Just assume.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you, how many calls have you been on with pulling bodies out of the red?
Me personally, I don't think I've actually ever done that before.
I'm starting to think the red is cursed.
Yeah. I mean,
That's how many
there's-
bodies are in there.
I just think a lot of people intentionally go there for that reason, though.
That's a strange way to
Yeah.
commit suicide.
Did I ever tell you guys during my wedding, like during the first dance, we looked out the window and you could see kids jumping off the bridge over there into the river, and they were like swimming, and then they'd swim out. and
Isn't
then
that water really contaminated?
Yeah,
there
it's
in
fucking
Moorhead?
disgusting.
dirty.
Well, but
Yeah.
there's bodies in there.
It was wild.
Yeah.
They were like standing on the edge, and Nicole was like, "Are they about to jump?" I was like, "I don't know." And then he
That's
jumped in.
crazy.
I was like, "He just jumped in." You could see it on the video. I'm sure. It's like,
That
That's
is
fucked up.
crazy.
I'm not doing that.
no, thank you.
Especially with currents in there too.
Yeah, yeah.
Down current and you just got a bunch of rain and it's going faster. Then,
Yeah.
But like you try to swim against the current too. Swim with it at an angle. You'd be better off.
Yeah, we've known a couple of people that have passed through the river or into the river, I guess.
Uh-uh.
So it's just really weird.
Yeah. No, it's too once you go under and if you sink and it takes a couple days before you come back up,
Right.
gases kick in.
Yep.
I've never done it, so you won't have to, but I'm sure it'll happen at some point.
Right on. Well, we can go ahead and call this one, man.
Sure.
We appreciate you coming in and talking with us. You have anything you want to say on the way out? Any kind of statement you want to make regarding everything and to the community, anything like
Yeah,
that?
same thing I've said from the get-go is just thank you to everybody. It was obviously a very incident, like a very large incident which affected the whole community.
Yeah.
And I was obviously part of the initial thing, but then there's also the responding officers, the firefighters, paramedics, surgeons, nurses,
Yeah.
everybody involved throughout the whole thing that helped get those two guys like back to where they needed to be so they could go home.
Oh, yeah.
Talked before, like maybe not all of them may have gotten recognition, but I certainly recognize that they all these awards and everything, like it obviously has their name attached to it too, because
Yeah.
like Dotis and Haas, like if I would have been flipped in their shoes, like I would hope that they would have done the same exact thing too.
For sure.
But yeah, it's been years just flown by, fastest year of my life, like by far. But I've also gotten to meet a ton of people too. Really just trying to forget, like somebody died too.
Yeah.
Jake William passed away, and his family, and I've been able to stay in contact with them to the last. Like we're friends on Facebook and get to see what they're up to in life, and then they're always invited back to the PD for events too that we have for them. But as a general thank you to everybody. It's been everybody stopping by my house, dropping off food, and just general thoughts and prayers too. Very appreciative of it.
Awesome, man. Well said. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in, checking us out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the podcast. Tell your friends about us. Don't tell your friends about us. Talk good, talk bad. Doesn't really matter as long as you're talking about us. Peace.